This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. So let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound. If you recall, during the past several reports, I was mentioning a bearish bias against the high of this doji candle right here. Prices have sold off. If you are in this trade, I mentioned during yesterday's report maybe to exit around the 87.25 area. Right now prices are about 87.32, so I would go ahead and exit this trade, exit the short trade. And again, we want to look for right now prices to come back up and test the previous resistance line from the opposite side to set up a long trade. So this is what, and we can watch this over the next 24 to 48 hours as again, prices are only about 30 pips away. So that's what I would be looking for here. I'd have a bullish bias against the 87 figure, but I would want to get an entry maybe around the 87.10, maybe even 87.05 area, and place my stop beneath that 87 figure, maybe about the 86.70 zone. The next chart is the Aussie Kiwi. Not much has changed here. Again, this was the failed evening star pattern that I mentioned a few reports back. I was stopped out on this trade, and right now just sort of in a holding pattern. I really don't see anything in terms of an imminent trade setup. And if we zoom out, we can see that right now prices are directly in the middle of this longer term daily channel. So if prices are in the middle of a range, there's nothing to do except wait until prices do move either towards resistance or support. So I will update this over the next several reports. The next chart is the Pound Swiss, and if you were listening to the last several reports, I mentioned the double bottom here, long the pair off. I believe this is about the 71.60 area or 71.55, and prices are right now rallying a little bit. I'd continue to stay in this trade, again keeping that stop maybe in the 71.50 area, and just holding on now to see if prices can muster a challenge of the longer term previous support line, which should now act as resistance. Let me zoom out here and give you a broader perspective of what we're looking for. That would be a move up to this line here. Ideally, you know, we don't have to hold the whole way, but there could be another 100 or 200 pips on the upside here. So if you did enter on the long side, I would continue to stay in that trade. But if you did not enter and you're flat right now, I really don't see any favorable risk to reward entries on the long side. The last chart is the Euro Swiss, and not much has changed here. Still just waiting for prices to come down and test the longer term support line formed by the mid-October low here and the late March low here. Again, my name is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening, and please stay tuned for a preview of the DailyFX Forum. I want to go ahead and formally welcome everybody to the DailyFX Forum. And I want to explain a little bit about the forum and the wealth of information that you can obtain from the forum and how to go about doing so, how to find the things you want. So I'm just going to dive right in right now. And this is DailyFX.com, and this is usually how I navigate my way towards the forums. Obviously, you know, it really depends on each individual how they access the forums, but this is how I go ahead and do it. I go DailyFX.com, go ahead and click on the forum on top, and this brings you to the DailyFX forum homepage, and this highlights the most recent posts with the subject. So if you see anything that you're interested in, you can obviously go ahead and click. What I like to do is click on the forums tab like this, and go ahead and view the forums in the normal, typical way that forums are set up. And here you go. There are a bunch of threads down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go directly to the forum, the video you just viewed, where you viewed it. So let's go ahead. This is the DailyFX Instructor Tips Forum. Identifying trades with DailyFX, that's me, and go ahead and click on the most recent post. So this is where you are right now viewing the video, although the video will be the video beneath this one that you're watching right now. So normally when I'm on the forums, and what I would do is just scroll up to the top. Certainly you can check out any of my previous videos, and you know, especially if I did mention them in the report or in the video that you're viewing at that moment. And what I will do is go ahead and click on the forums, and then look for the forums that I like, you know, that I have interest in. One of them would be the Euro Dollar forum, and this, again, it's really up to each individual trader as to exactly how they want to use the forum. Personally, what I like to do, the first thing I do is I'll go to the Euro Dollar thread, I'll go and click on the latest post, And what I'll do here is, and again, I just want to really emphasize this point. It depends on your exact mindset when you're viewing. And me as a trader, I have some experience. So what I do and how I personally use the forum is I go through and I'll read what people are saying about the euro, what their trade ideas are. I certainly try to maintain my own individual objectivity, and I really don't pay much attention to what other traders are saying in terms of my trading. I'm not going to certainly see something on a forum and then go jump into a trade, but what it will do, it will open my eyes to certain trading opportunities, maybe a certain line or a certain time frame that I haven't looked at before. So that's one way that I personally like to utilize the DailyFX forum. But certainly for newer traders, there are plenty of topics that you can go over. Let's say you might not be well versed in terms of certain currency pairs that you want to learn about. Scalping, you might not know what Elliott wave is. You can go ahead and click there and see exactly what you can understand, what you might not understand, and then certainly feel free to ask questions about any of these topics that you have. Maybe the carry trade, maybe you have some questions about that, or the sentiment, the SSI, or the latest economic news, FX programmers, the webinars, MT4. Any questions about active trader, you can go ahead and click on those threads. So again, it's very free, very open, and there is a wealth of information here and just waiting for to be utilized. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening.